In case journals, we have, when you set up case journals, you set up both clients and you set up cases. A client may be involved in multiple cases at the same time. So in this video, we're going to talk about setting up the client files. So I'm just going to click onto this button here, and this opens this screen. To create a new client, I have to fill out these tabs, the client information and the demographics tab. So if I have a client in here, this is what that screen would look like. So you see I've got a first name and a last name, a title, a date of birth, a gender, which is a drop-down selector. Primary case is an optional field. You don't need to fill it out. However, if you are working with another agency and you share a common case file number, this would be where you would put that number. In addition to that, you have an address, state or province, and postal or zip code. You also have the ability to store up to 4 phone numbers for the client, and for each phone number you identify if it's okay to contact and okay to leave a message. As well, there's an email address here. Down below there's an important notes section where you can just type things and you can make some notes on maybe children or others that are involved. I'm going to talk about this access rules in a moment, but I do want to talk about this very strange field called motorboat. And basically, when I tick this and save it, what you'll notice is the name is colored in blue when it's unticked, and if I was to tick that and to save it, it's colored in red. Now, the thing with that doesn't mean that this client has a motorboat. This is a field where you could change a label to whatever you want. So for example, as administrator, I can come up here and I can change this label to be, or better one is danger flag, which is actually what that field is. You notice now it says danger flag on here. So this is a way, a very non-visual way to mark a client's file that they may have some volatility issues. You can change the name of it, so if the client happens to see the screen, it really doesn't mean anything to them. And by checking this, it has their name in red, which is a signal to the counselor that they may be a volatile client. Anyway, that's the first tab of client information. The access rules is a way, if I was to pop into here, where you could choose that client and you could deny people or other workers access to their files. So by default, all the workers would access that file, and then we could block certain people from that file. We could actually do the exact opposite and deny everybody access to the client except anybody in this list. So this is a way to keep your clients private when you have multiple counselors, and or if there's simply a conflict of information situation, you can handle with that access rules button. Okay, so once you've done all that and you've saved that, you go to this second tab here called demographics. And on this tab, this is where you pick all of the codes that compile the demographical statistics for the services provided to clients. So you can see there's a field for occupation, one for ethnic origin, religion, preferred language, service language, Aboriginal status, marital status, country of birth, education, location. And then over on this right side, there's 6 miscellaneous fields that you can change the label, as we've done for the miscellaneous one field. We've changed it to an accessibility field, and you can choose the coding in here. So as administrator, you can set up all of the drop-down lists that appear in all of these fields, and they compile automatically into your demographic stats. So a careful assessment on what your statistical needs are is going to help you derive what your code list should be. Once you have all your demographics in place, then you can go to the client information and you can connect this client, who happens to be client number 1, with other clients in your system. So you see we've connected Jane Black with both Paul Smith and Lloyd Smith here, like that. And lastly on here, you can go and add in collateral information. So we've made note of who their emergency contact is, who their doctor is, who their employer is, and we wanted to make note of who their lawyer was and maybe their CAS worker. And you can add as much as you like in here. So those are the first 3 tabs. That's fairly generic information which does not change, and that basically is the way that you would set up a new client. So if we were going to do a new client here, I would click on the new button under the client information. I would put the name in here. Let's say the last name is Jones, Harold. I'm going to pick a title, a date of birth. So I'm going to say 1972. We're going to pick the month of April and the 2nd. Select the gender. 23 Henry Street, Toronto, Ontario. Phone number. Okay, contact. Okay, leave a message. And then I'm just going to save that. So that's the way I create a new file, and then I would move forward and go into the demographics, and I will pick some codes in here. I'm just going to pick some arbitrary codes. See, I didn't pick that one very well, so I will pick that one, and an accessibility. Good. That's the way that you would create a new clients file.